Hey guys, so welcome back. I hope you guys can hear me okay. We got a lot of ATVs and off-roaders out here at the Folsom SVRA Park. It's pretty crazy out here. All right, so we're out here today because I want to share with you guys some of the technical features that are available in all your Land Rovers, because most of them, doesn't matter what model you have what's called the train response system. The reason why I'm out here today is to do some demo in such a way that it'll hopefully make sense to all of you who are maybe getting into overlanding or a little bit of off-roading, trail riding, and getting a good understanding about what it does is really important, okay? And mainly your transfer case. So not every Range Rover has a transfer, a high and a low, or known as a two-speed transfer case. All the sports, like the Range Rover Sports, the L322, the 405s, they all have two-speed transfer cases. But like the other lower-end models, do not. They have a train response systems, but they just don't have the two-speed transfer case. And that's really what you want when you go off-roading out in the woods, climbing some hills or obstacles, because otherwise they're all gimmicks. If you don't have a transfer case, the other stuff is all gimmicks, and I'll show you guys a demonstration of that in the next video. So the reason why I'm doing this demo on this hill is I think you'll understand once I do the demo of what the high range and the low range transfer case really does, how it impacts or affects your vehicle going over, let's just say, uphill. Now, for the most part, if you guys are just driving your Rover over a hill on a flat road like this, you wouldn't generally need to put it in a low range gear. You probably just keep it in a high range and then just go about your business. But for this demonstration, I think it'll really illustrate the difference between a high range and a low range setting in your transfer case. All right, so bear with me, and I hope at the end of the video, hope you guys will give us some ideas, and you guys can do whatever you want, but having this knowledge might be helpful as you guys explore onto a trail with your new Rover. Okay, so here we go. I know a lot of you guys have already, fiddle-farted with your train response system. So 3 things: we're up to the off-road height, we're in all-wheel drive with no fancy gimmicks, and we are on the highway mode on our transfer case. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in first gear. Okay, we are in sport mode, we're in first gear, and what I'm going to do is take my foot off the brake, and we're going to see if we make it up this hill. Look, we're not even moving, and I'm in first gear. We're not going nowhere. Okay, so now I'm gonna put it in snow mode, because the snow mode is going to engage my off-road system, and it says here it recommends that I go in second gear. Okay, I'm in second gear. So here we go. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I am in snow mode, highway transfer case mode, off-road mode, and I'm gonna take my foot off the brake, and let's just see what happens. Again, we are not moving. We're not doing nothing. Okay, so now we're gonna switch it from this snow mode to mud and ruts. Okay, and I'm gonna take my foot off the brake, and we're not going nowhere. Okay, nowhere. All right, so now let's try a different mode. Let's try sand mode. Here we go. So we're still in the same setting. Now we're in sand mode in first gear, taking my foot off the brake. Again, that doesn't do anything, right? So just again, for this demonstration, we're only demonstrating what happens in this high transfer case. Now, this isn't really to demonstrate that it should go or not, and if it does, that would be really amazing, obviously. Okay, and the last setting that's available is the rock crawl mode. Now, the rock crawl mode on your instrument says, hey, put it in neutral and then activate the low range and whatnot. But for this exercise, we're gonna keep it in the high range transfer case. We're not gonna shift onto low just yet. So I want to share with you guys. Let's just see what happens. Again, we're in first gear. Sorry, the sun's like right there. It's in first gear. I'm gonna take my foot off the brake, and here we go. And just as I expected, it does nothing, right? Okay, so now we're gonna go through this whole thing again, but this time we're gonna do everything in low range. So let's dial it all the way back to your normal highway setting, which is your normal driving on the highway. But this time we're just gonna switch our transfer case from high mode to a low range mode. Okay, and when you do that, it says select neutral with the transmission. Okay, and I'm going to push down to low range again. Low range selected. There you go. So, just to prove a point, you guys can run low range in any one of these 5 special settings. It doesn't have to be in a raw crawl mode. Does that make sense? And we're going to dive more into the best settings for you guys when you go off-roading. But for this video, we're just going to go through all the ranges with a just a normal highway setting and a low range off-road setting, so you guys can get a good idea what it does. Okay, so now we're going to be in first gear. There we go. We're in first gear, and I'm going to take my foot off the brake and let's just see what happens. Here we go. Look at that, we're moving. Okay, we are moving. That's great, fantastic. Okay, so that just gives you hopefully a good idea of what the low range really does. It gives you extra power throughout your wheels. It gives you additional gears. Okay, basically in this Range Rover case, around 3.5 to 1 gear ratio, whereas a highway, that's a 1 to 1, and there's no additional power to get you through obstacles like you do in a low range, because there's more gears, it's turning, it's just a lot easier on your transmission and everything else. Okay, now let's go to the next one, which is snow and gravel mode. Okay, and again, I'm gonna turn off the traction control here. I'm sorry, the hill descent mode. And I'm gonna take my foot off the brake. And let's see what happens. See, we're moving again. Look at that, we're moving. Okay, awesome, right? Okay, so now let's go to mud ruts mode. Again, we're in low range. Mud ruts. I'm gonna turn off the hill descent mode because the hill descent mode comes on automatically whenever you're in low range. Okay, so here we go. Foot off the brake, and there we go. We're moving. See that? We're moving. Okay. Last one. Option not last one, but second to last. This is the sand mode. We're in the sand mode. Taking the foot off the brake, and here we go. See, we're moving. We are moving. Okay, now the rock crawl mode. Again, we're in low range. Turning off my hill descent control. I'm gonna take my foot off the brake. Again, we're in first gear on the same hill, and there you go, we're moving again, going up this good sized hill without giving any gas whatsoever. All right, so let me demonstrate this one more time, why you want a forward low when you're off-roading or come up to a technical obstacle. So I'm gonna do this one more time. I'm in first gear, rock crawl mode, and I'm gonna basically ghost it. So the fact that the Rover can do this up this hill just kind of shows you how low the gearing is on your Range Rover, on a full-size Range Rover. Now I think it's 386 to 1 transfer case. Now the reason why it's able to do this is because imagine if you're riding your bicycle up a big hill and you only have one gear, or the highway gear. It's gonna be very, very tough to pedal up this hill with just one gear. And that's what the highway mode is all about. It has just one gear. Now, when you have a low speed, two-speed transfer case, now take the same example of the bicycle with 21 gears. So now you've got 21 gears working with you to get up this hill to make it much easier, you know, to climb the hill on a bike. And that's exactly what it's doing right now. By shifting your transfer case to a low gear, it can do this. It's effortless, as you guys can see. All right. So anyways, I hope that this stuff was, this demonstration was helpful for you guys. And if you guys want to see any more of this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments down below. And I will make sure to get back to you and share as much as I can with you guys on the Range Rover off-road capabilities and whatnot. So until next time, we'll see you guys in the next video.